Video summarizes how a chat agent works. It's for anyone who's always wondering what is under the hood when I go to a website and I get a little agent interacting with me. So how do they do it? Well, in this context, most of these agents are trained on a very specific corpus of information. That could be similar calls, that could be documents about the topic that is at hand, or anything related to a specific subject matter. So the way that it does this is it first studies this subject. It gathers all these documents and it converts them into what we call vector embeddings. What's a vector embedding? It's a representation of the text which is numeric rather than text. And why do we need this? Well, because words have meanings, but you can easily see how a word taken out of context can mean a different thing in a different circumstance. What we want are numbers that represent the words, and what we want are numbers that group similar words into a similar number space, but we also want numbers that take the entire context of the text that a word is found in and essentially summarize what does that text mean? What is the bigger picture here? And that's how we get to something that can start to be conversational. So let's say we have a corpus of text and we have chopped it up into little text snippets and we have turned them into numbers that represent both the meaning of the text, the individual words, and the meaning of the whole sentences. Well, then you can see that you can use calculations, plain numeric distance formulas, to group these text into neighborhoods. This is done using a vector database. And the cool thing about vector databases is that once you've studied a big corpus of information, you can calculate and pre-compute all sorts of distances ahead of time to group your information into topic summaries. This is going to be really useful later. I'll get back to this. So you've got your vector database, but you still haven't built your chatbot. What is a chatbot? It's something that answers a question posed by any given user. The cool thing about the technique we just talked about for turning text into numbers is that you can also take an incoming question and embed it into the same space as all of the text that you just previously studied. So a question, which will have keywords that are relevant to answering the question, and it'll have a context that relates to the whole sentence, that same question can just be given the same type of numberings that the original corpus had. And then, using the same type of simple calculations, you can figure out what topics from the original text are similar to the question that had just been asked. And remember how I described how you can pre-compute a lot of these distances? This helps if you have a gigantic set of corpus of information and you want to provide answers in real time. You've pre-computed what these neighborhoods look like, and then you can land your query more effectively without having to test it versus every single topic that you have previously studied. So here you are, you've got a query, you've got a set of candidate texts from your original database that relate to the topic that was asked. So now you need to answer the question. Simply take the candidate answers that you've come up with and then use a phrasebot to summarize those texts and put it into a nice natural language answer. Voila, you've got an answer to one question. Now, how do you make a chatbot that can carry on a whole conversation? You simply pass forward the question and the answer from the initial problem that the user had to the follow-up question that is then passed again to the corpus of information, to the vector database that gathers candidate answers, and then comes up with an answer that seems in the conversational flow to relate both to the original question and the follow-up question. Put a little lightweight UI on top of this, and you have a chatbot for your organization. All of this, what I've just described, is a summary of what Longchain does. Check out their platform and resources and go ahead and build your own. In any case, I hope you have come away with this with a better understanding of chatbots and feel more empowered to think about using them in the future. Boo.